A very good morning to all of you. In this class I am going to start with another important topic of chapter molecular basis of inheritance, and the topic is transcription. Transcription. So, transcription is the process of synthesis of RNA from DNA. According to the central dogma hypothesis given by Francis Crick, according to him, that DNA forms mRNA and mRNA undergoes in translation to form protein. So, overall, into the central dogma hypothesis given by Francis Crick, DNA itself undergoes in the synthesis of DNA, that is known as DNA replication. Then DNA form RNA, also said to be mRNA, and after protein. The formation of mRNA is known as transcription, or here is translation. Is known as translation. So, transcription and translation. Transcription is the process of mRNA, tRNA, synthesis of mRNA, tRNA and RNA, whereas translation is the process of protein synthesis. So, in this class we are going to discussing about the mRNA, synthesis of mRNA mostly. There are three kind of RNA: rRNA, tRNA and mRNA. rRNA is simply ribosomal RNA or ribosomal RNA participate in the formation of ribosome, which have different type of subunit. In the subunit they have also different type of proteins, or approximately 50 proteins are present in the DNA in the 70S type of into the 80S type of RNA, whereas in 70S type of RNA there are 30 type of protein. Now, R stand for ribosomal RNA, T for transfer RNA, and M for messenger RNA. M for messenger RNA. Now, how in the transcription we are going to discuss about the synthesis of messenger RNA. Now, let us discuss about messenger RNA, how the synthesis takes place, how many enzymes are required for the synthesis of messenger RNA. First, the transcription is divided into three steps: initiation, second step is elongation, and the third step is termination. Initiation, elongation and termination. Now, in the initiation there are three regions present in a DNA in the transcription unit. In transcription unit. transcription unit is that is a segment of DNA which undergoes in the synthesis of RNA or mRNA. These three regions are, here is promoter, this is terminator, promoter, and terminator region. In the promoter region, promoter and terminator region, in between the promoter region there is structural gene, structural genes. Now, if we talk about with respect to the DNA, promoter region present towards the 5' end, or the terminator region present towards the 3' end of the DNA of coding strand. Here is coding strand. Or the synthesis will always occur on the strand in the polarity of 3' to 5' in direction, or the synthesis of mRNA takes place in continuous manner, or continuous synthesis will takes place. Continuous synthesis of DNA takes place. mRNA takes place in transcription. Now, on the strand which has polarity in 3' to 5' in direction, or that strand is known as template strand. Template strand. Template strand. Now, after determining all these sequences, let us discuss about the initiation of the transcription. In the initiation, promoter help in the binding of RNA polymerase like DNA replication, where the DNA polymerase help in the synthesis process. In the synthesis of mRNA, the RNA polymerase also required in the synthesis of mRNA, where the RNA polymerase is known as DNA dependent RNA polymerase required in the synthesis of mRNA. Here is the initiation of transcription. In the initiation of the transcription, this, for example, this region show the promoter, and here is terminator. Now, the DNA dependent RNA polymerase, DNA RNA polymerase, second required for the synthesis of mRNA, but other than the RNA polymerase second, or other than the mRNA synthesis, tRNA or rRNA are also present. So the polymerase are required for the synthesis of tRNA, and the polymerase RNA polymerase, that means RNA polymerase second, first required for the synthesis of rRNA. The all first here is. And the RNA polymerase second is synthesis required for the synthesis of snRNA or hnRNA, like this, heteronuclear RNA also, or transcription or mRNA synthesis because they increase the affinity towards increase the affinity of core enzyme towards the. Now DNA dependent RNA polymerase second bind with the promoter region during the initiation of protein, or they bind with the help of sigma factor because the sigma factor increase the affinity of RNA polymerase core enzyme for the promoter region, or they decrease the affinity for affinity towards the structural gene of core enzyme, so that the core enzyme do not bind with the structural gene, they bind with the promoter region. When they move along or on the DNA strand, they easily identify the promoter region because of the sigma factor, or through the sigma factor they bind with the promoter region and initiate the protein, initiate the mRNA synthesis or transcription of protein. Now, during the initiation, when they bind with the promoter region, RNA polymerase and sigma factor, after the synthesis of few strand of mRNA, that means after the synthesis of or addition of approximately 20 to 50 nucleotides or 1000 nucleotide, the sigma factor released from the core enzyme, they only provide affinity or also support the synthesis whenever the transcription start with their optimum speed or optimum synthesis. Finally, the sigma factor released from the core enzyme or the core enzyme continue the synthesis process in the elongation step. Now, after the synthesis of certain, for example, when the core enzyme move on the DNA, approximately, here is after the synthesis of some nucleotide, the release of sigma factor from the core enzyme. The sigma factor released from the core enzyme or the core enzyme continue the synthesis process. Now let us discuss about how the elongation of mRNA carried out in the second step of transcription. So here is DNA, or during the synthesis process where the mRNA, some mRNA synthesized during the elongation, they continue the addition of the core enzyme continue the addition of nucleotide one by one according to the rule of complementarity on a strand which has polarity in 3' to 5' in direction. That is the template strand, or the template strand will synthesize the mRNA in continuous manner. Because here is 5' in, or because we know during the elongation the nucleotide come in the form of nucleotide triphosphate. Each nucleotide come in the form of nucleotide triphosphate. Nucleotide triphosphate. So For example, if adenosine is present, come in the form of ATP, adenosine triphosphate, GTP, guanosine triphosphate, UTP, because uracil is present in mRNA, T is replaced by uracil, UTP, uracil triphosphate, and cytosine triphosphate. Or because in case of DNA we use deoxynucleotide triphosphate in DNA. So in DNA we use the nucleotides come in the form of D and TP, where D stands for deoxynucleotide triphosphate. But in case of here is D is absent, that means there is a presence of 2' hydroxyl group. So the 2' hydroxyl group and the phosphate group present at the 5' end show the reactivity. Phosphate group show the reactivity towards the 2' hydroxyl group, which are hanging along the mRNA strand. So that makes mRNA more unstable because of the phosphate group. Also, there is need for the capping of 5' phosphate group. So after the synthesis of few nucleotides in mRNA, eventually the synthesis followed by the 5' capping takes place. Capping is simply the covering of 5' phosphate. So they make the phosphate group less reactive for the 2' hydroxyl group. If they make the phosphate group make a bond with 2' hydroxyl group, so overall the mRNA become distorted in their structure. So that mRNA is not useful for us for the protein synthesis. Overall, because the genetic code which are present on mRNA cannot be read by the ribosome or the tRNA or anticodon. So that's why the capping of mRNA takes place at the 5' end, or this capping always takes place by the group 7-methyl guanosine triphosphate. Guanosine triphosphate. 7-methyl guanosine triphosphate. The 7-methyl guanosine triphosphate added at the 5' end to make a phosphate group less reactive for the 2' hydroxyl group. Then after capping, the RNA reaches onto the terminator region. When they reaches to the terminator region, the overall synthesis gene synthesized, or there is addition of polyadenylate chain at the 3' end. Approximately 200 polyadenosine added at the 3' end make mRNA strand stable. Makes mRNA strand stable. Make mRNA more stable as compared to the previous one. Now, after the addition of polyadenylate chain, in the termination, when the telling is occur at the termination region, where the addition of polyadenylate chain carried out at the region of 3' end. So overall, this is the reaction that makes the mRNA formation of mRNA carried out in the termination region. Now let us discuss about the formation of mRNA, because here is the newly formed mRNA which have the 5' capping and 3' tagging. That means addition of polyadenylate chain, approximately 200. The 3' tagging. The capping and tailing process. Now, in the synthesis of capping and tailing process, after the synthesis of capping and tailing process, there is formation of mature mRNA because because the newly synthesized mRNA is not go for the synthesis of protein in the eukaryotic cell. In the eukaryotic cell, because have different reason. In the splicing, Splicing is a simply processing of mRNA or conversion of immature mRNA to mature mRNA. The process need for removal of those sequence from the mRNA. Those do not synthesize any type of protein, or generally we don't need for the synthesis of that type of protein. So here is mRNA. On the mRNA there are two type of genes: polycystonic gene or monocystonic gene. Polysystonic gene and monocystonic gene. Polycystonic genes and monocystonic genes. The polycystonic genes is simply when a gene synthesize, single gene synthesize more than one protein. More than one protein. And the monocystonic means if one gene synthesize only one type of protein. So such type of gene is known as monocystonic. If the single gene synthesize more than one protein, so that type of gene is known as polycystonic gene. Generally this type of gene is present in prokaryotes, and the monocystonic gene is present in eukaryotes. In the prokaryotic cell, the synthesis always takes place from a single gene. More than one protein will synthesize, because their genome is so small, or single cell, like bacteria is a single cell. So more than one gene will synthesize more than one protein. If single gene is spliced from the mRNA, so they actually more than one protein removed from that mRNA. So that mRNA will not synthesize more than one protein. So that's why in the prokaryotic cell there is no need for the splicing, but in the eukaryotic cell, because one gene will synthesize only one type of protein, so for this purpose the eukaryotic karyotes need for the splicing of their mRNA. Those because during the synthesis those mRNA will also transcribe on those code also transcribed on the mRNA, which where we don't need for the transcription for the synthesis of that protein. So that's why the splicing takes place only in eukaryotic. So in the mRNA of eukaryotic cell, of eukaryotic organism, there are two reasons. Exons. The outer region is exons and introns. The exons are interrupted by intron. Here is exon, intron and exon. The exons are interrupted by the intron, and there is need for the removal of intron region in from or in between, which are present in between the exon, or the exons region only synthesize the protein. The regions which are present on mRNA, or generally which do not synthesize any type of protein, are considered as intron. So we have to remove these regions. spliceosomes. Then cutting out of these spliceosomes from the exon or all the exon ligated by the use of enzyme, or that is converted into the mature mRNA. So mature mRNA have only the exon region, capping and polyadenylate tag. So here is mRNA. So here is the overall about the synthesis of mRNA. I hope you like this video. Keep listening and watching me, and thank you for listening and watching.